and developed the TOT manual. And these TOT trained more than 100 IDPs and forced communities in food safety at Don Bosco. And we prepared operational work plan for SNNBS and DFCA on quality and standards testing. And we developed DFCA quality control laboratory business plan and refurbished a food processing workspace at MAWAC, Mazzarello Women Promotion Center, and installed 0.5 ton per day oil processing plant at MAWAC and developed a Tory-Ford brochure for the SNBS. Something like this. Next up is the activities and result under Output 2. Output 2 is IDPs and forced communities trained in agro-processing and entrepreneurship. We mobilize in partnership with the Salesian Sisters Don Bosco Gumbo, mobilized 244 IDPs and host community members. Out of 244, 234 were females and 10 were males. And we supported organizing them into 7 groups and trained 14 females out of 244 beneficiaries as TOTs, trainers of training, in micro-business entrepreneurship, as well as village saving and loans, group saving and loans. These words will be used repeatedly: village saving and loans, VSLA, and mentorship. And we produced 2 training manuals for entrepreneurship development and village saving loans association, VSLA. This means group savings and loans in English that can be utilized by trainers in South Sudan. And these 7 groups mobilized saving and repayment of in total about 30,000 US dollars from 11th January 2020 to 29th August 2020. Considering their financial and economic situation, 30,000 US dollars for 8 months was a big achievement. Furthermore, under Output 2, we provided post-harvest handling equipment of raw materials, namely groundnut shellers and cleaner, and equipped the oil plant facility with oil storage drums, moisture meter, and weighing scale, and also developed a marketing strategy for the edible oil, so-called matza oil. And we also developed a Tory-Ford brochure for MAWAC activities. Like this. Then, I'd like to share with you 4 major achievements of the project, which I am so proud of. The first achievement was agro-value chain development supported for self-reliance. The project contributed to the development of agro-value chain to support self-reliance of target IDPs and forced communities. The project successfully supported the development of agro-value chain, although its coverage was rather short. In the red squares part, in the value chain of agro products, groundnut and sesame, the project could have supported from storage and handling, value-added processing, and marketing and distribution. More precisely, the project provided IDPs and their host communities with training on handling of raw materials, value-adding processing, and packaging, as well as equipped them post-harvest handling equipment and oil plant. The raw materials of the oil, groundnut and sesame, are planned to be procured from 7 groups organized in the project linked to VSLA activities. The training on food safety and hygiene was conducted by staff members of SNNBS and DFCA trained in the project. Consequently, the project could manage to create a linkage between the target beneficiaries and the government agencies who are responsible for food safety, which matters a lot for product promotion and marketing. At the end of the project, the group started their food production using the funds from their own group savings to procure raw materials from the groundnuts and markets. Accordingly, the project contributed to creating new income-generating opportunity for the groups conducive to their financial self-reliance through supporting agro-value chain development. The second achievement was income-generating opportunity created through providing a livelihood support package. The project created new income-generating opportunities for the IDPs and their host communities for self-reliance and self-confidence through providing a livelihood support package consisting of the training, equipment, and the rehabilitation of existing facilities. I believe the facilities rehabilitated and equipment installed at the Mozzarella Women Promotion Center are still being used to produce edible oil. The training included and the livelihood support package covered not only technical skills, such as post-harvesting, harvest handling, and oil processing, but also soft skills, such as food safety, quality and hygiene, and entrepreneurship development program, we call it EDP, and Village Saving and Loans Association, VSLA, for their self-support. The project assumed if the income-generating opportunity are created, women's self-reliance and self-confidence increase, and then it would contribute to social cohesion of the South Sudanese society. In other words, for long-term development gains, the project engaged in individual and institutional capacity building and infrastructure improvement that have been highly applauded by key project stakeholders and the project evaluation expert. The third achievement was contribution to facilitating social cohesion and stability. The project contributed to facilitating the social cohesion and stability by strengthening the relationship between the IDPs and host communities. The project's facility is organized in total 7 groups, 6 only female, and 1 youth groups, consisting of members of the similar social and economic status, but from different ethnicities and residential status. The project introduced VSLA and provided the groups stemmed from VSLA with other training. The VSLA was highlighted as the most attractive practice to mobilize IDPs and host communities, as well as an action point for social cohesion. The groups became socially cohesive through the weekly meetings, when they met, discussed, saved, and loaned each other within their own bylaws. Finally, fourth achievement is foundation toward behavioral change of the vulnerable females created. The project laid foundation toward behavioral change of the vulnerable females. We say behavioral change would occur after the change in CASA take place. CASA stands for knowledge, attitude, skills, and aspiration. Through the project duration, the changes in CASA have been already observed among the target beneficiaries, whose majority were vulnerable females. The CASA change have been first confirmed during and after the series of training, in particular, Entrepreneurship Development Program, EDP. Sister Dionysia of the Salesian Sisters of Don Bosco, Gumbo, mentioned that she had noticed a big change in the beneficiaries. She could not even recognize some of the beneficiaries from the distance, as their appearance had changed due to high self-esteem and confidence. I believe greater self-confidence is very important, as it would bring success and aspiration for the better future. This was critical for the project, targeting the vulnerable who have been severely traumatized during the protracted civil war. Here is a statement of one of the beneficiaries, Ms. Gideon. VSLA and entrepreneurship have helped me much on how to plan and budget my business. Before I received the training, I did not know how to plan my business and did not know how to budget. But now I know to budget and plan because of the training. I am selling peanut butter, cooking oil, and dagar fish with my capital of 20,000 South Sudanese pound, out of which I borrowed from VSLA, around 6,000 South Sudanese pound. Therefore, according to me, the important part of the project I benefited is to know how to plan, and I know to budget for my business. Sorry. Oh, yes. Okay. Before wrapping up my presentation, I'd like to show you the project video. You will hear some other statement of beneficiaries and the project staff. In addition, Ambassador Okada and myself are in the video. Oops. Oops. Can you help me to actually I did. Oh yeah, okay. Thank you so much. It's okay. Thank you. The project enhancing social stabilization and cohesion through supporting agro-value chain development in South Sudan started its implementation in April 2019. The project successfully trained 244 internally displaced persons and host communities, mostly females, in entrepreneurship, edible oil extraction, group savings and loans, as well as in food safety. In addition, the project refurbished a food processing workspace as communal food processing workshop at Mozzarella for group production and sales of peanuts and sesame oil.
At this juncture of COVID-19 spreading throughout the region, it limits our social and economic interaction at home and abroad. However, it can start the tide of development effort as well as the peace process undergoing in South Sudan. I'd like to praise the effort made by the Unito project team as well as the ministries and local communities driving this crucial project throughout this time of great difficulty. South Sudan has a great potential of agriculture and agro-processing business blessed by the suitable weather, rich soil, and water. The starting point of this project is our wishes to make the best use of those favorable conditions for industrial development and income generation. It is also expected that agro-products will be exported to the neighboring countries and beyond once the great agricultural potential is fully utilized with quality control and favorable trade environment.
Ana bugulle na sawinde kedo mo mageni side. To swande kede mo jase fa business ala sana gamro de gaira na shedid. Ana kanne ndi kursi kibeta yana bi kursi. Makaranta business ana gamro business za besita na buo ditane. Ana ba ko tane utane ana ba de godifo ana kaman bro this is sondu fibia sele.
The training that we do, it is good that we go to the better level. So called if we have from different ministries and different institutions of Umata in Sudan, someone now responsible for that they put certificate dollars. So no one here, Manatu, I don't mind, it of the Amu said, say then about what to be done. Say then you know whatever of the soup by the corner. Say then I'm looking to tell you only to Bumbo. Then you know to tell you all it. So I got the seed, we have to get to my as I said, the zone you are happening, we need to rate the time and the apple. Okay? So they are also why we are here.
All this time, the business people in the market here, they go and get oil from other countries. The oil they bring here, it has to be checked by Bureau of Standards. Some of the oil, sometimes they are destroyed because they are not good oil. And what you are producing today is the proof that we will not depend on the oil being imported from outside.
أول حاجة أنا كمان تاني مرة بقول شكرا ليونيدو وكمان شكرا لجابان إمباسي أو لسفير جابان سفير كان جاء وقابلنا ويتكلم عننا كثير عن إنه بروجيكت كانوا بيعملوا كيف يساعدوا نسوانتا جنوب السودان. عشان ده يساعدوا نسوانتا جنوب السودان وكمان ده نسوانتا جنوب السودان كده يساعدوا نفوسهم. So أنا قلت له شكرا. زماننا بعد إن ده كيلو support عنا يعني كيلو ندينا this actor.
I am very grateful and also with a lot of hope that all this input that this lady have learning or appearing during this time, it will help them to build a better family, a better society, a better nation. Because these things are not coming around, and they will have chance to profit this knowledge.
We thank you very much for processing that we have also did through your efforts and the Japanese ambassador and all the team that help us in doing all this. For this day, we are very happy to continue with this kind of celebration.
This project is the purpose is to bring social cohesion between the IDPs and the host communities, and also to improve incomes of these people so that they become self-reliant, and also to create some employment opportunities, after people get trained, they can get their own way to get some jobs. And also now the TOTs, they already facilitators, though they are voluntarily, they can still be facilitated. And this is already kind of empowering these communities.
Oops. I hope you enjoy the video. Yeah, in the video, you saw some scenes from the closing ceremony of the project. This ceremony was broadcasted via local TV channel and was received with surprise and joy by South Sudanese. Thanks to the news, I heard that the women's groups could receive several inquiries and some orders. And now, after the completion of the project, according to the website of Salesian Sisters AES, in December 2019, the sisters successfully managed to start Mazzarello Women Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Limited. This cooperative society consists of 4 departments: agriculture and animal husbandry, tailoring and catering, and saving and loans, VSLA. Mazzarello Women Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Limited is a South Sudanese social enterprise funded and managed by women, and it's legally registered at the Ministry of Cooperatives and Rural Development of Juba State. I expect today we have our sister Rurut, and I hope she will talk more about this cooperative in her presentation. In conclusion, as your takeaway, I'd like to emphasize one thing. Without the financial support of the government of Japan and the dedication and commitment of the Salesian Sisters of Don Bosco Gumbo to serve the most vulnerable, UNIDO was not able to implement the project and complete it successfully. Because the project duration funded by JSB, Japanese Supplementary Budget, is rather short, it is tremendously critical to find a reliable implementing partner who would ensure the sustainability of the project after the end of the project. We were very lucky and blessed to identify the sisters and to work with them. Thank you. Grazie. ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Dr. Akemi, for this wonderful, detailed presentation. From the presentation, it is very clear that you are an expert in the field of project management. We wish you well in your work and as you promote and as you empower women, not only in the church, but in the whole world. It is now my pleasure to invite in the program the Sister Lord Hermoso, and I am told she will be connected online. And Sister Hermoso is a Catholic religious sister belonging to the Institute of Daughters of Mary Love of Christians. I will not introduce her much because before me there is Sister Ruth, who is now the Counselor for Mission and has worked in the South Sudan, in Sudan and in Ethiopia. I therefore invite Sister Ruth, before she gives her own talk, to introduce Sister Hermoso. Thank you. Most welcome.
Good morning to all of you. I am very grateful to the ambassador because I met him also in South Sudan, and I am a witness of the great change that this project has really impacted the life of many women. The Salesian Sisters in South Sudan have been present since the last 40 years in 3 communities, in Tonch, in Wau, and in Gumbo. Sister Lourdes is at the moment the one in charge of our community in Gumbo. And she has been very committed together with the sisters in the implementation of projects that support the growth of the women. And so I think Sister Lourdes is from Spain, and she has been in Africa for the last almost 25 years, before in Kenya, and finally she landed in South Sudan. And for sure she will be able to communicate to each one of us the passion for the women empowerment that is so dear to our institute all over the world, present in almost 100 countries. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sister Ruth. We now invite Sister Hermoso to present the theme on the difficulties and problems in implementing the project, the effects of the project in the present. Most welcome, Sister Hermoso.
Good morning to everybody. I am very happy to be here in the name of the community, especially we work together with Sister Dionisia and the team of UNIDO. I am very grateful to the ambassador I would like, first of all, to confirm all that have been said about the project and the achievement, because it's on the ground. You can see the effect that until now they are the benefit for many women and for all the participants and the community at large. As you know, the project was concluded on a period that was during the pandemic. So from the technical school. All together, we were able to settle and to make all the equipment to work. The pandemic produced a big impact at the end of the project. It didn't mean that the release, the length the effect of the production. At the moment, the production is going well. I wanted to underline three aspects where the first of all, the saving groups have produced a great impact on the women. The collaboration among the women of different ethnic groups is evident. The coexistence and to work together is a great achievement that where you can see the community of Manzanero, the cooperative, the women who come to the center, they found a place where to live in peace for a community that we know is still in struggle. Another aspect that also very positive is the rapport with the government and other institutions. Thanks to NIDO, the Mazzarello Center, the Mazzarello Women Cooperative, have a great collaboration with other institutions of the United Nations and the government in South Sudan, as well as different NGOs. So we have given a big visibility to the women group and to the center. And lastly, there is the building capacity of training, technical training for the women. This has given to them the tools to increase their capacity of production. At the moment, the Manzanero Women Cooperative is the one holding and running the production of oil. Is still need help for the entrepreneurship because we know the business world is very challenging and the capacity of the women is to compete with other companies or other production of oil from abroad is still big. The saving groups have changed, have increased, have many women have joined, and still the people who were trained to run this group, now they are running other groups, and the women, the number of women involved have increased. I just want to underline that the challenge was due to the COVID pandemic, or the difficulty of purchasing goods, even the same technical support that was supposed to come from abroad was not allowed to arrive. But it has been a very great experience, and I think has changed the life of many women. And the seed that was planted by NIDO here in Mazzarello is still helping many women that were not involved in the project, but they are now beneficiaries of this time. And we hope continue to benefit many other women in the future. Thank you to all the people who have made possible this project.
Thank you very much, Sister Hermoso, for this presentation and for giving us the reality on the ground. At this moment, therefore, I invite His Excellency, the Ambassador, Mr. Okada, to join the panel, Dr. Akemi to join the panel, Reverend Rector Magnifico to join the panel, and Sister Ruth. We will now therefore take a few minutes to ask some questions or some presentations just before we conclude the session. So anybody who has any question to make, any clarification to make, can simply ask for a clarification or for a contribution. You can ask the question in Italian, in English, or in any other language best known to you. Most welcome. I'm told that there was another speaker who was to be connected, but unfortunately she is not connected. Let us therefore proceed with the program. If there is any question, any contribution to what we have heard this morning, most welcome. Yes. Madam.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atiana, Slovenia. Thank you for this presentation, and I'm happy that the project is going on. Just one question: is it foreseen during the visit of Pope Francis these 2 days in July? Will he visit the society? Just a question.
Yes, we had a news that the Pope Francis is visiting South Sudan in July. We just got a news yesterday, and maybe I'm not in a position to answer, but maybe in Santa Sede, or they are discussing the detailed program, I think. So at this moment, I have no idea whether he is visiting the Don Bosco, but surely that that church is kind of major, very major, kind of organization in Juba. So I'm not sure that I don't know whether he himself visits that place or not, but he will see all the sisters and other people there. That's my guess, and maybe you know better than that.
It's for me to say that.
See, welcome.
Yes, and I want to tell you I am very grateful to you, Ambassador Japan, because you respect the sense of the sentence. Don't give them fish, but teach them how to fish. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Yes, actually that point is very, very important for the sustainable development in these countries. Like exactly what you said, is one of the most important, I think, the attitude among us. We have to support their, own capability or talent. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Peter?
Congratulations to the whole team, starting from Japan to the professor who used her knowledge to be able to get this project going, to Salesian Sisters for having cooperated so well in a project like this. And it's a sustainable project, so it will continue even when, I hope, even when the help from outside is not there. What I would like to just ask is, what was the role of the males, the men, and particularly the youth in a project like this? Were they involved in any way? Just want to know.
Thank you very much for your question and a nice comment. Well, actually, as I mentioned in my presentation, this project originally did not only target females. So thus, I was thinking it would be fair to cover some of the male participants, the male beneficiaries. And in particular, in the UN system, we really try to empower not only the women, but also the youth, in particular in the African context. Because in African context, the population growth rate is so high. And then so many young people are going into the market, labor market, but it's very hard. Many of them are not so educated or even trained. So thus, it's very hard for them to find a job. So therefore, at least in this project, although we were working with the sisters, so we needed to target mainly women, but we hoped we could give a little bit opportunity for the male youth to find a job or to save the money for themselves to start their own business. Thank you.
Yes, most welcome.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And well, in the name of the World Union of Catholic Women Organizations, which are in such a long, it's such a kind of not all countries, but continents. It's very, very. I'm very, very happy, and I congratulate you and your government to empower women in South Sudan. Thank you very much.
I just want to add one, my experience actually. When I organized this project, as you see, this is a trilateral of the project, cooperation among UNIDO and Salesian Sisters, Don Bosco Church, and the government of Japan. But for our government, it's the first time to work with a church group. It's very common for us, for most of the government, to work with the UN agencies, work with the NGOs, international or local NGOs. It's a common way to do this kind of aid cooperation. But for us, this time we chose the Don Bosco Church as one of the implementing agencies of the project. So, like the other government bureaucratic consideration, it's very kind of difficult to start a new thing, And I have a lot of talk with the headquarters, to explaining what the benefit, what the role of the church. And eventually, then it turned out it's very, successful model. So we found it's a big merit to work the churches, because particularly in a country like in South Sudan, as you see that over 60% of the population is a Christian, and church has a lot of the strong connection with the community, and they're very respected among the people. So for us, like ambassador or the government, maybe the church group is one of the most kind of suitable or partner for us to do the business.
Thank you very much. If I may ask the ambassador and Sister Ruth this question, because and I think Dr. Kim has also been there for some time in Sudan. I come from that area, from that region originally, though we immigrated to Kenya. I'm a Kenyan immigrant, actually a Sudanese by origin. Now, Sudan was one of the biggest countries in Africa. One of the biggest countries in Africa until 2011, when it was divided Sudan and South Sudan. Yet, it was divided out of peace, to create peace. From 2011 onwards, it has not known that peace. The South Sudan, or the Sudan, has not yet known the peace for which they assigned the accord. What will the international community do? Subdivide the South Sudan again in two pieces? How will we give them food if they have no peace?
I think Sister Alessandra Smerilli mentioned very well the orientations given by Pope Francis in order to build a stable peace. And I think it's still a long journey to go, but there is a strong commitment, especially from the youngest generations, towards peace. Personally, I have seen a lot of changes, for example, in the conflict management in the schools, for example. Before, the schools were battlefields, and gradually the children and the young people are understanding the importance of solving their own issues by talking, by sharing, by doing something together. And the other aspect is that in the communities there is more awareness about how positive is to build peace and to start building the country, because they have seen the difference. In some areas the peace has been a little bit more stable, because not the whole country is at the same level. The people have seen the difference of peace and the connection with development. So, for example, I can say in the area of Tonch, we have engaged ourselves in building a stable school. People were thinking it's a crazy idea. They will destroy it in no time. But the people said, also simple people, they said, you invested also in structures. Means the education is a long-lasting investment. So we want to bring our children to this school. We want to contribute something. So I think though there is a long process in the country, I can see that from 2011 until now, there is a progress.
Thank you. Just before we conclude, we will be connected to the Secretary of the Embassy of South Sudan through Mr. Kato. We have two speakers just for very few minutes. Most welcome. I hope if the secretary is ready, we can listen to you online.
Hello.
Hello, we would appreciate, this is the Japanese embassy in South Sudan speaking. My name is Rico. We have two ladies who joined the program in South Sudan previously, and we are sorry that we were late. I would appreciate if you would be able to give us instruction about how to move on this forward.
You now have your time. You can proceed from now. Most welcome. Kindly speak. Hello?
Hello, hi. Do you mind asking the questions to the ladies? They're not understanding your questions. So do you mind asking once again about what kind of things you would like to have the two ladies to speak about?
Just to tell us about your experience with the project of UNIDO in the South Sudan.
Yeah, the project of our experience in project of UNIDO in South Sudan, they have given us capacity building to the women, and they trained us so many skills that we have learned from them. And they have given us processing machine for the oil.
So how are you benefiting from the project?
We have benefited from the project a lot. The first benefit is because they train us in entrepreneurship and saving. BSLA. In BSLA, we benefit a lot. It helps us. We save money. At the end of the year, we contribute among each other, and that one it has helped us a lot, and we are still going on with that saving.
Are you also able to help the others?
Yes.
In what way?
We help others like those who are not in the part of the cooperative now. They are joining us, and they register, and we allow them to save also, to join the saving group in our cooperative.
Thank you very much, and we wish you a successful project continuation, that it may bring empowerment to you and to the other women and families. Thank you, and stay blessed. We now come to the conclusion of our session. Welcome, Dr. Akada.
Can I ask some questions to them?
Yes.
Hello, I'm the former ambassador for in South Sudan, and I want to ask, at this moment, how many women are engaging in this project?
Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear our question?
Stop.
This is
Connection.
connection. Okay.
It's a very
And-
typical thing in South Sudan.
Yeah, thank you. We now welcome Sister Ruth to give the vote of thanks as we conclude our session. Most welcome, Sister.
Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to say a great thanks to all the organizers of this conference. And first of all, to the rector of the Pontifical Salesian University, Father Andrea Bozzolo. Also to Sister Alessandra, who was here with us. And a big thanks to the ambassador, because he was really an ambassador who very close to the people. And he came to our center sweating together with us, staying together with us, encouraging the women and the sisters, and as well as Dr. Akemi, who was also with us. So their presence gave a strong motivation to the women, and I can say that the sisters on the ground, Sister Lourdes, Sister Dionysia, the sisters together with the fathers, the Salesian fathers, who give also technical assistance to us, because they have the TVT programs, vocational training centers, so all the equipments were installed by their students, they are technicians. So for sure, the project will continue. And this experience I consider a very important one, because also other communities, not only of the Salesian sisters, but other religious communities have been very interested in knowing about the project and in trying to replicate the project in other areas. The constitution of the cooperative opened up also to other women in the country, especially in Tonj, the possibility to constitute cooperatives and to produce, for example, groundnuts. At the moment, the production of groundnuts around Gumbo is lower. So, for example, in the area of Rumbek, in Tonj, the women have the possibility to produce groundnuts, and because of the trucks go to another area, they go back to Juba empty. So they can really transport the groundnuts and bring them to this center in order to increase also the production. So I thank you very much for this opportunity, for your presence here, for your interest in the women promotion, and for the great example of cooperation between the embassies, the government of South Sudan, and the church, because we are working together to bring opportunities for the more vulnerable ones by journeying together towards sustainable development. So thank you very much on behalf also of our Mother General and the whole Institute. Thank you.
Thank you to the technical team, Flavia, Veronica, and Francisco, who is also the rector's delegate to the embassies. May we stay blessed and enjoy our afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.